As a young lady back then, how much different was your experience
How much different?
than the boys back then?
Okay, I knew my baby daddy talking about how the blacks were over on Luna Vista, somewhere over there on the west side. I was here for Fox News.
Okay.
And there was all kinds of things happening. There was a lot of these people that were busted in their fire joint. But they control gambling now, don't they? We got casinos.
Right, right, right. So, did you suffer any abuse back in those days, back when that happened?
I wanted to get the ones.
Okay. You was able to get out free, huh?
No, I was on stage when they said the riots had broken up. Somebody called me to the side and said, tell the audience to walk out calmly, not to panic. The riot had started, there's curfew, there were sirens going on, and tanks up and down Woodward. Tanks up and down Woodward. Go home, hurry home. So I had children in my classroom that I had to take home because we did 4 shows. It was the parents who had to sometimes leave their kids with us all day. So I took kids home.
Did you guys?
I got home in time. I left for Myrtle Beach, South Carolina the next morning, leaving Detroit burning, flying off, and then meeting Rap Brown and his renegade in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So the riot was all over the United States, not just in Detroit.
Okay, thank you.
How important is this movie to you? This movie is so important because the truth after 50 years is being told. And it's painful to watch, but it's good to know that reality is still the reason.
Did you get a chance to see it yet? Is it, how accurate is it in your estimation?
It's okay. You know how things are glorified.
Okay.
How things are changed just to make it sensational.
Right.
But the truth is in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
The truth is being shown in the movie. All right. The truth is being told. Okay. It's going to make a lot of people have emotional setbacks because a lot of things they don't remember will be recalled. When I saw it, I was thrilled.
Okay.
I was angry at first, but I was thrilled that the truth is being told. We're not afraid anymore.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you. So now, because we were there, did you still feel good? But you remember having been there? Yeah. It's changed to make it more lovable. Than level.
Father about it, and what was his recollection? How accurate was it in his recollection?
So I talked to my father about it. I talked to Lou through the Arthur Featherstone, my dad's first campaign manager. It was accurate. One of the things I was looking for without giving too much away is, you know, when you're thinking about the rebellion, there were storefronts that didn't have Soul Brothers. Those were the storefronts that were destroyed. If you had Soul Brothers, the storefront was intact. And that's a detail that you would only know if you were in the city at the time. So I was looking for things to pick at, and they asked Catherine in the past, and they did a great job of researching, so that was there. And for me, you know, it rang true to everything that, you know, my father and his cohort talked about.
Now, how do you feel that your dad was portrayed in the scene where they saw him?
Oh man, Laz did a great job. Laz did an amazing job. So happy that, you know, he was chosen to play my father. He's very personal guy. So I'm happy that God called him.
Good. Around 13 when this was going on, right?
On this?
Young, so you ever thought about the police during that time? He was 10 years old. He was 10.
In fact, my dad was a policeman. I vividly remember what was going on in '67. My dad and I talked about it, and so I made a decision consciously as a boy that I didn't want to be a police officer. And then 10 short years later, 10 years, 20 years old,
It was a plug.
1977, I joined the police. In the same precinct where the riot erupted. So many of the officers I worked with served during the civil unrest. I got to know some of them. Some of them were outstanding police officers, and there were some that never changed with the shift in culture. And so those were, I met with the
You Canadian? Yeah. You know how to do Canadian. I got a Canadian with me.
Really?
I got a Canadian with me. Two of them. That's Manitoba. I don't know if you like Manitoba or not, but that's Manitoba.
We love all Canadians. We're ready.
You love all Canadians?
Yeah, we
Canadian,
love
eh? Not you are, eh?
Yeah. All right, so what's the importance of this movie?
Well, it's an extremely important movie. It focuses the lens on a little-known incident that happened 50 years ago that really traumatized the city and more broadly a nation. The death of three young, unarmed black men who were teenagers who were victimized by police brutality. And here we are 50 years later when Orlando Castiel in Minnesota, when Samir Rice in Cleveland, when Sandra Bland in Texas, and Mike Brown in St. Louis, and Eric Garner in New York were victimized in different ways by police brutality. This is an issue we're still confronting 50 years later. So perhaps we will be awakened by what we see on film, and that will provoke a deeper engagement with the persistent forms of social hostility that black people have to confront. So the importance of this film is really to make people see this stuff ain't just happening today. It started 50 years ago, and if it happened, and it started even before then, but if it occurred 50 years ago, we really have to confront what's going on today.
But
Oh, I've seen the movie. I was an informal advisor. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. So it was extremely important for Catherine Bigelow to get it right, and she was very interested in telling the story the right way. So I've seen that film. It's loud, it's aggressive, it's noisy. Look, she won the Oscar for Hurt Locker. She then did Zero Dark 30. This is the third movie in a war trilogy. This is a war movie. It's about domestic terror. It's about social injustice, economic inequality, and the ways in which black people who are poor and vulnerable have to fight against a machinery that obscures their suffering. So Catherine Bigelow bringing all of her privilege, all of her genius, all of her tremendous fame and celebrity to bear on this is an extraordinary and uplifting experience that all Americans and Canadians should be grateful for.
What do you think about the state of Detroit?
The state of Detroit? Look, Detroit is on the comeback. There's a lot of hurt and horror that is happening, but there's a lot of celebration. I'm disturbed by the gentrification that's going on here, the ways in which black and brown people are being marginalized and pushed out. That's not the only story. Some people are returning to the city who left 50 years ago after the riots. Many white people who went to the Collar County within Detroit who left this city are now returning. But what about the resources for those who are vulnerable? What's happening to those people? And if we are paying attention to them, then we are paying attention to the necessary people who we should be focusing on.
Mike.
What up, Drake? What's up, Drake?
Justin Bieber, we have that one.
Justin Bieber, but Drake is my man. All right.
Al Parham.
Celine Dion, please say hello to me. All right,
Al
yes,
Parham with Rap TV. How you doing,
sir.
sir?
How you doing,
Just
sir?
want to thank you for your elegance and intelligence that you explain things to the world.
Thank you, sir.
What's your thoughts on? Do you think this could ever happen somewhere else in America?
You mean what's going on?
The riots,
Look.
the injustices.
Look, think about it. We just lived through Ferguson. We lived through outbreaks in Minnesota. We saw mass mobilization in D.C. and New York. So there's no question that the hurt and horror that black people endure, the traumas that we continue to endure, can lead to resurgent expressions of social outrage. Social rebellions like what happened in 1968. We've seen many of them since then, and unfortunately and tragically, many of them are related to the same incident of police brutality against vulnerable black people that needs to be dealt with. So thank God that Catherine Bigelow in this film has pointed her camera towards such an incident.
Is there a cure? Is there anything that can avoid this from ever happening again?
Well, America got to get right. America has to confront its own racism, its own white supremacy, its own unconscious bigotry. America has to come to grips and grapple with the extraordinary hostility toward blackness, the demonization of black people, the resistance of against our humanity. We have to acknowledge that for what it is. And we're living in the age of Trump. So in living in the age of Trump, we know that there's been a resurgent racism that we have to contend with, and we have to name it for what it is. And films like this help us have a vocabulary of social engagement with issues that need to be addressed.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your time.
God bless you, man.
God bless you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, my man.
All right, take care, brother. I have a question. With such a powerful movie, and you guys, I know it's acting, but did it affect you at all? Did you have sleepless nights thinking about this?
There is, well, especially with my character, yes. Being a person of the law, and then looking at what my actions then created is a painful thing to do. I told my team, I was like, I need to do some stuff where I can get some sleep at night. We haven't succeeded yet.
Right.
We haven't succeeded, but it's important. They're important stories, you know. I think there's a contingency of people who are like, why do we keep telling these kind of brown-skinned people's stories? And I think we have to, so they can stop being repeated and repeated and repeated. And I can keep going with repeated,
right.
And you know I can.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's important that we tell them so that our kids see them, so that our grandparents see them and clear up the facts.
Right.
And so I think it's important to tell the story. I went on a tangent, but it was
That's
important
okay.
to say.
That's okay. I know with such a story in a city like Detroit, you can ask 100 different people and get 100 different follow to get your lead and learn.
I ended up getting a lot of information from the team, and they have a whole resource of people. I've not met anyone individually yet. I imagine I will in the next couple of days. So like, oh, I was there, and like, come in and talk to me.
Right.
And I look forward to that because that's the fun of what I do in my job is meeting people who survived amazing things and found their strength, which is what this story is. It's a horrible, horrible thing done to brown-skinned people, but it was survived by brown-skinned people, and that is the strength of brown-skinned people.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Okay, man. Okay. Got my arm workout for the day.
Let's pray it doesn't happen to me. Let's say that. Let's pray this movie is a chance for people at home to change. I pray it doesn't happen.
All right.
Thank you.
Al Parham, how you doing, sir? Good, good. Nice to meet you. Did a good job in the movie.
Thank you.
Let me ask you a question. With this going on, what kind of impact did it have on you personally, seeing this and acting through it?
Good question. This left me in a dark place for a while. I was on the production for a total of 3 months. That whole 3 months, I've never been brutally beat by the police like that. I've been harassed as a black man. I've been talked to a certain way. I know what that feels like. I don't know what it feels like to have my hands on the wall for 4 hours and to be brutally beat like that. So I had to take myself to dark places, thinking about family in the ways that I don't want to think about, just to try to get to the point where I felt like Larry was. It was hard for me to decompress, even after the film, you know?
So if this ever happens again, like at the different Ferguson's, a place like that, what's the chances that you will step in and do some activism type of work?
All the chances, 100% chance. This is my platform now. Now that this movie is out, this is my platform to be able to speak, and if I don't do that, then it means nothing that we did the movie.
Good job. I appreciate you. Good job. Yeah, good job. Hey, you ain't gotta listen to them, man. You the man. One more. Hey, man, I appreciate you coming down, man. You did a great job on the movie. What type of impact did this have on you acting in such a rough role, man?
It was different, you know what I mean? I've done quite a few films, you know, over the past couple of years, but this telling a real story is always just different. You know what I mean? People actually went through it. Emotionally exhausted every day being on set. Just another relationship with this man, but right now, to do certain scenes, it was hard.
What do you want people to learn from this film, especially your generation?
This is something that happened 50 years ago, and we still see these type of stories about news today. As we can see, a lot of these stories are swept under the rug. That's why to know about it before even us. You know, we did our research about what it's important for us to know our history.
But you living through this movie and doing this movie, what's your chances of being an activist if this ever happens again?
I think it's important for me on my platform to have a message and be the voice of people. I think I'm naturally just going to be with myself.
Man, you did an excellent job. Excellent job.
You were great in flight, too.
Thank you.
Excellent job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have Hannah Murray.
Anna Murray?
Yeah.
Anna Murray. Who is she?
She's the lead girl.
Okay. First, you say you did an excellent job in the movie. Thank you so much for your. And what kind of impact would a movie like this have on your life, going through such a dramatic experience? Even though it's acting, you were still there on set, going through it.
Yeah, I think it's just made me kind of, it totally expanded my idea of what my job can be. I think that to tell a story, that's a big part of a story that feels so important and so relevant. It's really, it's overwhelming for me.
Now, did you ever hear things like this during your history classes of growing up?
I was kind of, I'm from the UK, obviously, so
Okay.
I didn't do so much American history.
Okay.
I was aware of the Detroit Rebellion in a more general sense, but I had not heard about the Algiers, and I think a lot of people have it, and I think it's a story that really needs to be told.
Okay, I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Empathy. I would say empathy. And empathy is different. So excuse me.
Okay.
Empathy is different. In other words, with empathy, there's conversation, dialogue, to encourage healing. That's what would be my criticism.
Like this was a war movie. It was a war movie.
I don't disagree. I think
With all the
war almost spoiled that.
with all the injustices going on in America over the years, what made you choose Detroit?
Well, this is a story that has been pretty much a secret for 50 years outside of the city. I know that in the city there's a movie, but outside the city, very little known about this. And I think if you look at it, you think, oh, it's 50 years ago. That couldn't happen today. But it is. It's happening every day. So, sadly, it's timely, it's topical, it's contemporaneous. That's what I hope will stimulate a dialogue in this meeting. How did you get involved with this project? Well, I was told this story maybe 3 years ago. Right around the time of the Black and Brown days. And so that was a very emotional situation. And then I got this story. The story needs to see the light of day. This needs to be, we need to know that the severity, we need to know the severity of the situation 50 years ago, how much farther we still have to go today.
With a story like this, you can ask 1,000 different people, and you get 1,000 different variations of it. Who made you choose the story that you guys chose?
Really the research. I mean, we drew from court documents, court testimonies, eyewitness accounts. So it is extremely well researched. And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
how we arrived at the film that you see. Now, granted, this is a movie that could have been 200 hours long. I mean, you're looking at a really
Isolated.
a very isolated section of a very big canvas. But we wanted to pay respect to the heart of that story.
And while we're talking about Detroit, someone said that you was involved in the hotel, right? Right.
Well, that's it was almost like I would say,
Yeah. Just one question. Okay.
story about inequity in Russia.
And Oscar goes to everyone.
Sorry.
Was it?
Sorry, keep hitting the
No, it's all good.
microphone.
It's a different mic. Was it emotionally draining, like to go through the whole process of doing that movie? Tell us.
Extremely. I think we all were emotionally drained, especially the cast. There have been times when I would see Phil playing Krystal would be outside the annex with his head in his hands. It was very, very, very disturbing to recreate these events. But
Men also.
we were busy, we were quickly, we were efficiently. I wanted to get through it so that they would get through it and get past as quickly as we could.
Are you proud?
Hey, thank you so much. You did a great job. Thank you. I love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I wanted one question, like.
How you doing, sir? What kind of effect did it have on you making a movie such a strong, powerful movie?
It had a major effect on me.
Going through some things in that movie.
Yeah, even shooting it. Being in that hallway scene for almost about 10 days, man, going back and shooting that, can do a lot to me. But, knowing why we're here, knowing the bigger message, and knowing that this movie can reach a lot of people, touch a lot of generations, open a lot of eyes, I think was very important. It kept me driven the whole time, man.
Now, you see yourself being an activist, or if something like this happens again, will we see you on the front line?
Yeah, definitely. But in my line of work, I think this is my way of activism. Being able to tell these stories and give these people a voice who we lost. So I think that's very important. But yeah, man, when stuff was going on in LA, I was trying to get out there with Uncle Snoop and do my thing. But it's beautiful to be able to come and touch these cities like this. And I'm glad that the premiere is here in Detroit. I think it's only right.
Man, you did a great job. We appreciate you much.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you much.
Did you already speak to Leon?
Which one is Leon?
He was Daryl.
Yeah, I talked.
Okay. You think they're good for Peyton?
Huh?
Can Peyton come to you?
Which one's Peyton? Yeah, I talked to him.
Okay,
Yeah. Hey, I had to tell you, man, hell of a job. Hell of a job on the role. How did you prepare for such a tough racist role?
Right. I tell you what, I don't want to put any labels on it, but I definitely read a book called The Psychopath Test by John Ronson. That sort of helps understand. Well, no, you don't understand actually. You never do. And I guess that's what's scariest about it. Is that we're afraid of what we don't really understand. By way of preparation, fortunately, Catherine built such a brilliant team, and I was lucky enough to be a part of this terrific ensemble. So it's a very safe environment. We can work without judgment, which I think we really needed to do something like this, to tell a story in the way that we are telling it. It's unapologetic, it's raw. And yeah, it was a difficult one to prepare for as such, but that degree of dehumanization, that idea that a man like Quinn and a lot of the police at that time, anything that wasn't white wasn't human. And so addressing that issue was very confronting, very sickening, and kind of glad I just have to watch it now. I don't have to do it anymore.
After you guys got done filming, do you have to go away by yourself for a week to detox and get your mind back to?
Yeah, 100%. But to go back on the ensemble as well, like we all felt so safe, so that we could go to places and we could address those issues in that unapologetic fashion. So with that, we kind of it was a very, very, very important part of the process for us to all. I'm Australian, so having a beer at the end of the day, that's almost our religion. And being able to share that with all of these guys was terrific. Being able to share it with this man as well. It was terrific. Sorry, I'm hijacking, but all good.
And with an experience like this and a movie like this, does it make you want to be more of an activist here? If these things happen?
Yeah, it's empowering, and I think audiences are more intelligent than we give them credit for. So seeing something like this, we do challenge an audience, and we go, if you don't like it, then fix it. So being a part of a project like this is really inspiring, humbling, and it's an honor. If we can affect change in a positive way, that's a choice. then that's a choice you have to make. So yeah, absolutely. If given the opportunity to tell more stories, like hopefully one day we don't have to tell stories like this.
Right. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Just hoping that people can come see this film and really get informed about what happened in season 7.
What was the thing that marked you while shooting that movie? You know, like emotionally or?
One thing that marked me emotionally, man, while filming a lot of the riot scenes, we would look on our phones and see that people were rioting in real time in our present day. And it just shows that not much has changed and that we have a lot more work to do.
All right, man. Thanks, bro.
Thank you. I really appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Sorry, I thought you were. I don't know why.
No, it's all good. I figured it out.
One guy. Oh yeah, what? No.